The talk is over, the action begins. Here's the lag.
And it really starts here, Phil. I mean, again, we talked about the brakes so much in the opening, as we always do. Well, it starts with the lag to try and get on that braking in, and it's going to be SVB.
And he won the lag last match. Broken ran the first rack, so it is important.
Thank you. The first rack.
Should see both players braking from the same vicinity on the right part of the box. Took a little speed off there to open, Scott.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he's just concerned about accuracy at the beginning. I agree, Jeremy. I wonder if the further he goes, the more power he'll get.
Well, you could see actually, there was side spin on that cue ball, and it wasn't something off a kiss off a ball. It was directly off the one. I mean, you couldn't ask for more to get started in the final of the U.S. Open, but we'll keep track of that break shot.
Smashing atmosphere in the arena. Already our referee, Ben Taylor Fuente, has asked some members of the crowd to quieten down. They're overexcited. First rack.
Yeah, and the nerves are going. I think he wants to get in position to draw straight back off the pink for a combination on the purple 5 into the 7. So, oh, did he fluke it? He didn't. A little quick with the delivery there.
Yeah, and we just touched on it. The heart rate probably through the roof, even for Shane Van Boening. And this is those side pockets we talk about. You catch that point at all, it's not going.
Well, talked about it earlier that, you know, I think Shane has improved so much leaving the air behind. That's going to be tested early, especially if Fedor can get out here. I don't think this is too tricky other than knowing what the 3 is going to do. That's after the 7 is deposited.
Get this out of the way early. It's a 30-second shot clock with 1 30-second extension per player per rack, and Gorst taking advantage of his right now.
Thought he would play more of the double kiss, playing the 3 a little more heavy. That way, not only securing the 7 a little more, but maybe making the 3 a bit easier.
Yeah, Jeremy talking about catching that 3 full. I have to agree. Maybe a bit of right English instead of what he used, which was left, but that's okay. He should recover just fine.
And that's that straight angle, or let's say no angle, on the pink 4 to screw the cue ball back. Where he's got it at now would be just fine.
Yeah, the only way this ball really becomes missable is if you try to pull it back too far. Like Jeremy said, just keep it below the 6. Well, he felt good, Jeremy, and decided to come on all the way back.
Yeah, well, what happens is when you simplify, you usually just put a little better stroke on it, and you get a little more out of the cue ball. But a real good sign, not like Scott said, not really a missable ball for these guys, but just to feel that good draw stroke early certainly means a lot.
You just get the feeling Gorst not going to make too many mistakes this match.
Well, he's, you know, had the upper hand in the later matches of the tournament. As far as getting opportunities, I thought it was fairly one-sided in that semifinal. But sometimes, you know, when you're getting the rolls, you know, most would say it's easier to play, but sometimes not so much. You tend to make a big mistake somewhere. It's kind of like a build-up in a sense.
It's a huge miss on the 3 for SVB. Goodness, Jeremy.
No pause at the cue ball.
Yeah,
so
right?
Yeah, and it made him come back quick a little bit. And then you tend to kind of die at the cue ball with the stroke. That's the only reason you can have a miss like that.
And he missed it by a country mile. What an awful shot.
What do you do here, Jeremy? You going at it?
He's edging it. He might be edging it or banking it. Not sure which. Normally he gets down like that, he's edging it. Oh, he played it back under. It's a hard one not to shoot at, but it was just funny, right? He either had to stiff it with some speed or take a real low percentage bank.
And we've seen Fedor knock a few of these in, and he hits them more at a pocket speed, which is kind of surprising. Going to be interesting to see how he plays this.
A little less pressure on the bank, it seems like at times, especially in big moments. No, that's wide.
This is one of those rare opportunities for Van Boening.
Well, it's understandable. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I was pretty clammy before this match started. I'm still pretty nervous about it. These guys, you know, the heart's got to be really going.
It makes for good TV. There's no doubt they're both wanting this a little too much right now.
All right, watch out for the corner because he's not going to slow roll it.
Fedor Gorst, stung by missing the bumblebee not once but twice. Okay, one was high tariff, the other was quite simple. Shane Van Boening, he made a mistake in missing the three, but ultimately it didn't cost him. That was the error we will remember from the opening rack.
Yeah, and one that he'll process. Of course, he's so great because he can leave the mistake behind and knows a lot about his technique, so I'm sure he recognized what the problem was in the stroke. It was definitely not the aiming. Interesting, though, for me, guys, you know, value y'all's opinion. I really think Shane gets going more when he's just blasting the rack, kind of like old school pool where we used to just smash him, you know what I mean? And it just gets your mind right and your game even better.
Yeah, I know he wants to. It's just, for me at times, I think he over-amps the cue ball with that low English, and sometimes we'll head towards that right middle, drawing it off that first rail. I know he's just got to be a little more accurate when he's hitting it that hard.
Yeah, I think there's just value there, though, with the spreads and occasional 9 on the break also. So,
Sitting 1 rack to 0.
and like I said, I really think it gets him to where there's really not going to be many misses.
We had success on the first break, Jeremy.
He's putting outside spin. Yeah, he definitely took speed off, and one dry break like that, I think he'll change.
Well, he drew way above. Let's get another look. I believe he drew above. That's been his downfall as of late.
Yeah, but at a lighter speed, it's going to grab, right? And just how much of the lighter break, and it's not light by any means, don't get me wrong, but much lighter than we're used to seeing. How often have you seen him do it? Not very often.
In terms of the mistakes we saw in the first rack, I think it was because it was the first rack. This is a massive match. Can't overstate just what it means to both. And I think if you're going to see errors like that, it is during the settling down period. I think as the match goes on, the quality will rise.
Yeah, going back to that break, I also think, Jeremy, that might have been a bit of a miss hit.
Could have been. Could have been for sure. Should cut the 1 onto the pink here, I thought, and just track the cue ball behind the 9.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Oh, he caught a double kiss on a pretty simple play. So maybe not over that 9 ball in the first rack.
Yeah, and I like your choice. Just chip that to the pink and come down. You had a lot of room for cover.
Yeah, hard to see in the slow motion as much as in regular speed, but could cut the 1 and try to come across using the 2-9. It looks pretty natural to me, to where you got a lot of room for error holding the 1 on the 8, whether you hit rail first or ball first. From distance, I really like to pick out something natural if I can.
Yeah, I like that, Jeremy. What about crossing the 1 over and going towards the 8 as well, if they'll give us the other view? Just crossing the 1 over towards
that's
the
great.
purple.
That's great. That's actually a little more friendly. Out cue ball. See you later.
Foul stroke.
Yeah, so
Poorly.
both players, in my opinion, Jeremy, kind of overlooking a couple of obvious things that
And please start
don't
the clock.
seem so obvious to them right now.
Well, the main thing is, you know, when the pressure's on and you know it's on both players, you want to simplify as much as you can. So I would say Shane might not have saw those shots, but that's hard to believe just because he pretty much recognizes everything, really. So we always talk about it. Nothing like ball in hand to get you settled into a match.
Well, that's exactly right. Just what the doctor ordered for Gorst. I don't see a lot of trouble here either.
Yeah, read my mind, Scott. I mean, real friendly layout as well. Get to shoot a couple shots you like to shoot. Maybe a little inside spin on a couple stuns. It's going to fall dead straight here. There is a little bounce. Good thing the pink isn't too far away.
Yeah, if that rests directly on the rail, it could be real funny. This is going to be fine.
Especially on the slick table. Red's off a hair, so he can play real first if he wants.
I think the biggest thing going forward here is you just kind of want to stay off the rail on the green 6.
Yeah, he's a little off angle, but it's actually when you're close to the ball and the slick table kind of goes through the ball pretty well. So shouldn't be any problems getting on the 6.
Yeah, will we revisit the decision
Extension called.
by SVB to go back and forth with the cue ball on the 1 versus a couple options that were, well, a lot more basic, to be honest.
Yeah, I'd usually like to dig on the cue ball 2 rails here. Fedor does more than rolling it, but we'll see. Looks like it's a high ball, though. Wow, he went up and down. Awesome shot. Surprised me, though, a bit.
Yeah, that's a sign he might be feeling a little better after the missed 9. Game 1.
Well, to be also, the way Fedor thinks, it may be something like, I need this stroke right now. You know what I mean? He knows what's going on with himself, and it wasn't obviously an out-of-line shot by any means. Ooh, that was a bit thin.
One 9 ball has been missed. Another bank went astray. But that conventional 9 ball is knocked in. Fedor Gorst, as a consequence, draws level 1-1. Is this going to be a thrust and counter thrust final? When you think, you know, Gorst going for this massive hat-trick in both of his previous finals in Masters and World Championship, he won at Hill Hill. Is this going all the way? Well, we know the cue ball's going into the pocket. Van Boening's safety on the 1, backfiring. And unlike in the opening rack, Gorst stepped in and did not falter.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see any change on the breaking in from Gorst. This will be his first, but it's going to be, you know, flattish cue ball, a little draw with a lot of speed. I expected to see the same from Shane when he's next on the breaking in.
Yeah, that's something I noticed with Gorst. He's really picked up the pace on his break in the last 48, 72 hours.
Rack 3. Fedor Gorst to break. Scores are tied 1 rack each.
The music stops, hush descends.
Yeah, well, there's a good look, Jeremy. Directly into the middle, and he's been so good at that lately.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, the blue 2 is dressed up. Wasn't quite as firm, in my opinion, as we saw earlier, but I don't think that that was intentional, right? Sometimes you just don't get the exact same speed. Does he have a natural to go by the 2, or does he have to draw 1 rail over? Or, excuse me, go by the 8? Or does he have to draw into position?
Yeah, it's a good question. And I mean, just at first glance, it looks like he can miss the 8, but maybe he's going into it. Whatever he decides to do, it'll probably be the right thing. I think he's going to have to draw, Jeremy.
Yeah, he's drawing. Watch him drop the tip. Got a nice bounce here off the second cushion. I think that's probably pretty thought of and pretty key.
Fedor wanted to use a lot of the outside ball. I think he punches down here. 1-2 to the left side of the 6, but not certain.
It's pretty comfortable.
It seems to be his go-to, that middle outside ball where he's punching. He avoids inside English at all costs most of the time.
Yeah, and most players, you know, they have their preference, right? You see like a Efren Reyes or a Ralph Souquet, they really were more like natural angles, add a little spin to carry the cue ball a little more, a little less. For today's players, you may see them, especially the Europeans, it seems like they seem to play a little more stun. Of course, Fedor Gorst, an American, but good stuff.
Many players would have been decidedly unsettled by missing the 9 in the first rack. But Gorst is made of stern stuff.
I think we're going to have to see one of the best performances ever out of Shane Van Boening. For some reason, this match, I feel like Fedor really wants it. I feel like he's going to play very consistent after getting those little blunders out of the way.
You can't wish for anything more clinical than that. Fedor Gorst lost the first rack, a rack he should have won, but he's won the next 2 and he hits the front. The US Open final of 2024 features a potential 25 racks. We've only had 3 of them, but I think already the intensity that's going to be on display throughout is there for all to see.
Thank you, Rack 4.
Yeah, the
Fedor Gorst break.
consistency of this
Hitting
break,
2 racks to 1.
it's something that I feel like SVB fans are a little concerned of. Very consistent, Jeremy.
Yeah, absolutely. Scott. He missed the one, but he got another one down. The one's going to open. Definitely a tester. Making out in the middle of the table, and got to make a decision with the cue ball.
Yeah, tester, and psychologically testing because he has to play to the same pocket as the missed 9 ball in rack 1.
And this is so off angle. You see what he's eyeing. The 9 ball near the side. Kind of putting a lot of force on the cue ball, right, to get at the 9 here. I think he's just got to rely on his ability and roll the cue ball forward towards the pink and take the shot on the 2.
Yeah, unless he's got more angle than what we see. But, I mean, it really seems like he's forcing and possibly splitting his focus if he goes at it like this.
Yeah, but he's feeling it. You heard the one hit the pocket, and that's the one. You don't, Shane, right? You come off a mistake, and not saying he's going to make many. But I really like going for the win there on the run out. If you miss the ball, you miss the ball.
Yeah, I can't agree more, Jeremy. I mean, obviously we're up here for a reason, right? But at the same time, with your experience, he could have smoothed that one in and just kind of gone up left of the 4. This is just uncharacteristic, but it was close, so maybe the one grabbed a little bit, Jeremy?
Yeah, absolutely. What happens is the cue ball kind of slides a little into the object ball, and it tends to grab a little. And I would guess what Shane was thinking, if there anything that crept in his head, is how the table's played overall. Not quite as tight, so balls have been sliding in. He felt like he had a bit more room for error.
Just going back to the original Gorst choice, it wasn't as though the kiss shot onto the 9 was high percentage.
Well, I mean, you want to try and make the 1, but the thing is, it's low percentage, and it gives you nothing on the 2, really. So I think maybe just go after the 9 if you're going to go after it, and ignore the 1 a bit. I know that sounds a little amateur, but, you know, put your focus somewhere. Like Scott said, not splitting a decision, really. But hey, it's the finals, right? I mean, give these guys a little bit of a break. They're definitely human.
Yeah, we really make it sound easy up here. I wouldn't be able to breathe.
Now over 7 a bit.
Extension called.
One thing he commented on is leaning on his fundamentals, and the opener on the 1 was kind of, you know, under that context in my mind.
And when Jeremy says over the 7, I mean, really even just the body can get into your mind, right? The 7 being there.
Yeah, and usually you got to bend the left arm a little awkwardly when it's like this.
It's just the fact that he knows it's there. I don't think it's going to cause a problem.
Great look here. Pretty confident stroke there on the 4.
He just wants to keep his angle here on the 5.
The missed 9 ball aside in the first rack, he's such a confident and reliable, dependable potter. Just concentrating on the run out initially. Why not? Hardly ever misses. Fact is, though, he's got a second chance, a second bite at the cherry.
Put a real good stroke into that ball.
3-1 to Fedor Gorst, 3 racks in succession. The missed 1 ball from Shane van Boening, proving key. Now, Fedor Gorst is only 24 years of age. He is a former world junior champion. And this week's junior event, the SVB Junior Open, was won by Riku Rompäinen. He got presented the trophy just before the final, actually, by Shane van Boening. And he won that final yesterday in the most emphatic manner imaginable. He beat Grayson Vaughan of the USA. Nay, he whitewashed Grayson Vaughan of the USA 9-0. He played 4 matches in the event, did Riku from Finland, and he dropped 6 racks.
Yeah, well, Riku, of course, for a junior, he's a bit of a veteran. He's been out playing in these WNT events for the last couple of years, off and on, and he's grown a lot in the game. Of course, grown a lot physically as well. You can see he was a bit over Shane right there. So Shane's close to 6 foot as well. So a name you're going to hear about for a long time, Phil.
Yeah, Riku's had some really good wins, actually, in main events, including over Skylar Woodward. And he got to the semi-final of the recent Helsinki Open in his native Finland.
Rack number 5. Fedor Gorst to break. Leading 3 racks to 1.
Yeah, and like last game, Jeremy said, he did miss the 1. Missed it high.
Well, it exited quickly there, Scott.
Yeah, the adjustment was made, right?
And a 3-9 combination laying nicely for maybe later in the rack.
Just before we get into this, it's all sacrilegious what's going on at the moment. Carl Boy is wearing a Stars and Stripes plastic top hat. The ultimate American beta when he was in the Moscone Cup, and now he's switched sides, it seems.
Well, he loves America. We talked about that. But the more surprising thing is delivering coffee. That's the odds-on underdog right there.
Yeah, that is the underdog, Jeremy. Actually buying and delivering coffee.
Yeah, funny here now. Still a little awkward safety. Those have been the ones that have gotten both players. Pushing straight through, catching the 7 could be problems. Yeah, he's going to tear apart that combination, but he's going to deliver a shot. Nothing easy for the 5-time champion, but I know he's wanting to bury a big one.
Yeah, how's Shane feeling here? You know he's going to hit this with some type of speed.
Yeah, and I saw a little of the crazy eyes right there. That's a good sign. Kind of open up a bit.
Extension, cool.
Like Scott said, there will be a thump if this blue 2 does get made. Deserved it, that little shot. In the 3, it would have been pretty cold if it would have gotten funny. You can see Fedor shaking his head in the background during that shot. He knows that SVB gets up for those.
Yeah, anything with distance and power with the center cue ball has proved to be deadly.
You know, and Phil, you've been around a lot of sports, of course, you know, covering all kinds. And when it comes to the world champions, the real elites, sometimes a mistake like on that 1 ball, taking it for granted, can kind of wake them up. And I wouldn't doubt that happens here.
Yes, for the greats, annoyance can be used as positive energy. For the lesser lights, annoyance can corrode a challenge.
Yeah. It's the same thing when you're prepared and not prepared, and probably have the most 2 prepared players on the planet here in this final.
He just wants some type of an angle to get down for the 9. Staying below the 8. Never really any trouble here.
Kind of like running this to the short side a bit more than the draw. The nerves are going. I like just more of a roll of the ball.
crux of his semi-final against Joshua Fuller, that rack was all about a wonderful 2-ball. You know, Shane Van Boening has experienced so much in 9-ball pool. The one experience he's never endured is defeat in a US Open final. He's played in 5 before this and won them all. 2007, then an unprecedented hat-trick. 2012, 13 and 14. And his most recent success in this event was in 2016. He's level with Earl Strickland, 5 US Open titles each. But he wants to break free and be at the top of the league, in a league of his own.
Yeah, he's incredible. That last one that he won, actually, I had a little run myself, but Shane was on the loser's side. He got put there by Josh Filler. First time I ever put my eyes on Josh Filler at that US Open. And then you could just see Shane, he never left the tournament room. He'd win a match, go practice. Win a match, go practice. And he ended up putting on a sweet one there in 2016.
Yeah, Jeremy, it was the biggest one for him, right? Tied Earl's record. And I think it's probably still to this day the most meaningful win for him.
Yeah, Chang Jung Lin, right? That's who he beat in the finals, I believe.
Exactly right.
Rack 6. Shane Van Boening to break. Trailing 3 racks to 2.
I think you can cover your ears. It's going to start to get a little louder with this break shot from Shane. I think it's the correct thing to do.
Yeah, I don't mind it, Jeremy. I just think he really needs to bear down on the aim point.
A little more smash, not as much side spin. It's not only going to be a difficult push out, but very limited. Can't get to the top half of the table.
Yeah, a couple times last match he caught the bottom half of that 9. Cue ball ended up over here.
Yeah, he's a very unique push-out player, and what I mean by that is most players, when you have to push out, you're at a deficit. You know, you're behind, and a lot of players will tie a ball up where he normally pushes out to the most difficult position on the table and just bets he can execute where maybe you can't.
Yeah, to your point, like right here,
yeah.
really.
Like, please pass it back. That's a lot of pressure if you're Fedor.
So it's gone from smash to who will grab the tactical initiative.
You almost couldn't blame Fedor for passing this one. I don't care who's coming back to the table.
I don't think it's going to be tactical if it's Shane. I think it's getting rolled in the upper right corner, and Shane's trying to get out.
Shane, please play again.
Yeah.
Little gamesmanship, maybe knowing he's never taken that shot.
Yeah.
Sat Shane in the chair for a minute.
Is the purple a factor for the cue ball in the left middle, or will it miss it? I mean, this isn't easy, Jeremy. It's very, very difficult to roll to the top right because I think the purple could be at play.
Yeah, it could be a problem, but I don't think there'll be that much speed.
Extension cool.
The thing is, you know, he may have not thought it all the way through because it was so limited where he could push out just because he was so hemmed up on the pink.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I was actually curious if he was going to do or thought about doing anything with the 6, kind of tying it up since he was right next to it.
Whatever it is, it'll be all right. Why not?
He was going to the top right corner there, but he'll take it.
Boy, he wasn't going to sell out hitting it slowly, huh?
Can he creep in behind the 6 and kind of use the 8 and 5 here, Jeremy?
Yeah, I think I might try and bump the 6 here, though, when I come up with the cue ball. Put a little more speed. Go. Red 3's got to go. Pretty good. Pretty good. Did get a little bump on the 6.
Yeah, and he got the right bump on the 7 as well. Gorst,
Extension cool.
one of the best in the business at this.
Is he trying to hit this with a high ball and snooker him behind the 7?
I think more of his focus is just laying that 3 over on the left long rail, trying to keep the cue ball somewhere in that area, Jeremy.
Yeah, and you know, that's a fair point, Scott. If you play it all the way to the middle of that left rail, you can just let the cue ball slide down the right rail, maybe using the 9. Oh, he's elevating.
I think
He's trying to bring it back.
Yeah, he's elevated.
He's trying to bring the cue ball down to the bottom.
Bow straight, all in hand.
Well, we were both fooled. We didn't realize there was that much curve just to get to the rail.
Yeah, he was snookered a lot more than we could tell.
Which I don't know about y'all's opinion, but oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
I swear to you, as he was over that, I'm thinking the alignment's not right here. I honestly thought he was going to overcut that.
It's almost like he never really even looked at the 3. It's like his eyes were always on the 4-6.
Yeah, and I tell you what you can get involved in out on the slick table especially is let me use the side rail. You know, instead of understanding you're going to hit the ball pretty pure anyways, especially with ball in hand. Uh-oh. Crazy stuff here early.
Wow, what is going on here? The crowd clapping.
Please start the clock.
Fedor Gorst is a big favourite, but Shane Van Boening is a sentimental favourite here. They want to see history.
Yeah, of course, everybody wants to see number 6, right?
Yeah, absolutely, and he'll knock this 6 in here with the combo to get started, but you know, I had a vicious scratch in my match, my last one, but that one was my fault. I leaned that one a little unlucky there to come from off the 7 in the middle of the table. He had to apply inside spin on the 3.
Well, touching on you, Jeremy, I actually saw that scratch. I watched most of that match. Yeah, I respect you saying it's your fault, but it didn't have to go that way. Neither here nor there. Crowd happy with the behind-the-back trick shot.
Great when it comes off, a little embarrassing when it doesn't.
He's got the hair funny, though. He's got to address this with spin one way or another. See the inside just a little bit, but it's always touchy because you don't want to fall straight on the 7 and then have to shoot the 8 from the cushion. All right, I like him putting speed on this and coming below the 8. That way he puts that nice stroke on it.
Yeah, just come all the way over. And that's the hit, Jeremy. Still gonna land funny.
That is the 50, and what we mean by that is very natural scratches if you level out the cue going into the side or corner. May be fortunate to get that 1-inch bounce.
Looks like he's going in the middle, Jeremy.
And he avoided the scratch with speed. How do you pull that trigger in the U.S. Open final?
Into middle pockets that we've repeatedly said give nothing away at all. And yet still he's not on the 9 as he wanted to be.
I think he may bank it, really. Have some speed on it as well.
That's what he's going to do. That's a cue ball here.
Cue ball's okay.
He's okay. He's okay. Shane Van Boening producing a couple of crowd pleasers on 8 and 9. And he's pleased because he's back on level terms at 3-3. The first 6 racks of this US Open final have been a blend of incident, mistakes, and excellence. Oh yes, and for Fedor Gorst, one horrible slice of ill fortune. Nevertheless, 2 wonderful pots on 8 and 9 from Shane van Boening to square it up.
Three ball. Wow. Well, considering the awful scratch in the last rack and how unfortunate that was, pretty nice starter here on the 1 to try and regain the lead.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like as good as he hit those balls didn't do a lot, even though the spread looks great.
1, 2, and 3 pretty much formalities, aren't they?
Yeah, the real work is to the 6, and you can see the pink 4 and 5 pretty close to each other, so no excuses here.
Where does he want to be, Jeremy, on this 3? Does he just want to be out in the center somewhere between the 4 and 9?
Yeah, I think because he can handle some distance on the pink 4, so it doesn't matter quite as much on the 3. I think ideally maybe between the 5 and 8, kind of that path. That's where I like right there myself. So, and what happens is when you train like he does, of course those obstacles are there, right? So it looks worrisome to kind of like a spectator, but he just knows where the ball's going.
Yeah, you get a real feel when you're at the table.
Well, this is premium. He should be able to get fairly close. And close to where he wanted, I think.
This is actually a little awkward. Probably going to have to come below the 9. Might even have to take the 5 in the top left if you don't want to introduce a miss and smooth this ball in. I don't know. He's good at drawing from this distance.
Well, it's a funny forward stun. That would be ideal from here to get an angle on the 5 in the side to track the cue ball up top table and back down. The funny part about the stun, it's easy to catch a hair of the 9. Then everything can become kind of odd.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he might actually pull this back.
Hey, there's that no angle, though, and near the cushion. So big trouble. He's got to power this ball going forward 3 rails.
Is there traffic? Not really.
I think the worry becomes the miss more than anything. I think he can get the path right.
It's the lower left corner. A big pocket for the cue ball.
Yeah, I think a miss. The upper left corner could be. Oh, he hit it sweet. He's going to get by him. Oh. 2 little flicks and an awkward stretch, even for a tall man.
Yeah, I was trying to see if that 8 was in play. He really bent this cue ball. Look at how airborne it was off the strike.
The problem was a really weak 3 ball, wasn't it, for position?
Yeah, I was a little shocked he played it with inside. I thought he would chip the right part and come up with outside because you're already in line as soon as you hit the 3, really. He's going for the bank because the safeties have been a little off. Kept it simple.
Well, I think, Jeremy, you were right until the buzzer started. I think he changed his mind to the safety once that buzzer kicked in.
I like the kick here. I really do. I think the way the 8, 9, and 7 are in the middle of the table can pose a lot of problems. And I really think he's going to always hit the kick.
No, I can't agree more. How much distance can you get from the 6 and cue ball if you don't make this ball? To begin with, getting over the 7 is going to be very difficult.
Got it in the side.
Foul stroke. Ball in hand.
Yeah, Jeremy, that's what I'm talking about, right? You said the same thing. The kick, a lot of good things could have happened.
Yeah, he could have pocketed the 6. I think he could have got the cue ball on the bottom. But, Theo, how many times of late have we seen fouls from players? We just kind of assume they're going to get over those, and it seems like they're growing more and more.
Yeah. The captain of the US Mosconi Cup team, Skylar Woodward, actually played 2 in pretty quick succession in one match.
Yeah, not just here at the US Open. We've seen it in previous majors this year.
Yeah, going back to that kick, though, a lot of really good things there. I don't know about that decision, obviously, catching the 7. Gorst, another opportunity to take off.
And to be fair, I mean, might not think exactly like these guys do, right? They're looking, hey, I'm going to make this, and that's the confidence they have. So just another level at times. Not pinpoint here on the 8. Wonder why I would say anything else. We've seen a lot of crazy things so far in just what will be 7 games.
Earlier this week, he had a 9-ball like this, and he hit it into the extreme right-hand jaw as we're looking. Just about went. That one was a lot more accurate. And so, Fedor Gorst regains the lead. I think both of these two would clearly admit that this has not been high quality yet, but there's been lots and lots of drama. And talking of drama, that's how it ended up in Saudi Arabia at the World 9-Ball Championship. $250,000 US on the line. Eklund Kachi tried a safety. He scratched. He left the table fearing the worst, and that was justified because Fedor Gorst stepped in, and that 9-ball provided him with the biggest first prize he's ever won by some considerable margin. What a hat-trick it would be, Scott. World Masters, he beat Joshua Filler 13-12. World Championship, Eklund Kachi 15-14. What about a 13-12 here for Fedor Gorst? It would be the Hill Slam.
Yeah, you can't say it any better, the Hill Slam. We were all there in Saudi Arabia when Fedor got the win. I'll tell you what, that event during that final was so intense. We can only hope for something similar here.
Thank you, rack 8. Fedor Gorst to break, leading 4 racks to 3.
Jeremy, this has always been the concern if you're in the SVB camp. That one seems to be consistent way too often.
It's getting action, on the blue too. It's really not getting tied up. It's coming open now. Looks like a perfect shot on the 2. Maybe somewhat straight to get on the 3, and I only say that because the 4-6 is a little funny. Oh, he's got an angle, so he can get down there nice and heavy on the red 3.
Broken ran in rack 3, and he's got every opportunity to duplicate that in this.
Yeah, looks like he can just really has options. He can just go straight through to the side rail, dropping below. It's going to be a 4-6 combo here in a few shots.
This all stems from a dry break from SVB last game. So he's going to play the 4-6, Jeremy.
Yeah, absolutely. Really not many pockets for the pink 4. Not really things that you would consider. That's why that good starter, because, we always talk about the differences when these guys get in control and get that first positional shot in line. Pretty much stay in line. Now, is the 4 going towards the side rail here?
Yeah, you got to wonder if the cue ball's kind of going towards the 9. Basically, if he's a little steep. Doesn't act like it, though. No, he's going to be all right. He hits it Easy, he'll be all right.
Yeah, that's where being close to his work really helped.
He's so good at this shot. If he wants to come back and forth above the 9, he can, but he's really good with that low drag.
Yeah, I think it'll be a couple rails, though. It's really natural and no problems. Gets him on that natural side of the 5 he wants, I think, which is a hair more. He's going to really survey the side pocket. I don't blame him. Doesn't want to come up the left side rail and fall on the rail with the cue ball. And doesn't want to force it to the right of the brown.
Yeah, you can't do much better than that. I think he's going to the long rail above the right side pocket. Oh no, he's perfect.
Two break and run outs in the match for Fedor Gorst, and for the second time he leads by a couple of racks. It was 3-1 initially, now it is 5-3. Still some way to go though. Mind you, after that race to 120 challenge match they've just had, this is a mere sprint, first to 13. Now Abigail is with a very special guest.
I am indeed. Shannon Pascal, of course, your dad was the founding member of the US Open. It must make you so incredibly proud to be back here for the 47th staging of this tournament.
I am so proud. I just think of my dad, and I know he'd be looking down, and he's proud of us as well.
Absolutely. And what are your early memories of coming to these events?
I've been coming here since I can remember. I mean, my first memories are when I was 5 years old and just coming here, and then I started working with my dad, and I think I put in a good 15, 20 years working the counter and behind the scenes with my dad.
And how important is it that you still play an active role in these tournaments?
Well, they do all the heavy lifting, but me and my brother are just thrilled that they let us still be involved with them, and we're here supporting them every step of the way, and we are amazed by what they've done with my father's event.
And fantastic news that this tournament is going to be returning here in 2025.
Yes, we love coming here. It's such a great time. They do an amazing job.
Absolutely. Let's get back to the final.
9.
And Shannon's father, Barry
Fedor Gorst
Berman,
break.
has his name on the
Leading
trophy,
5
and it will
racks
be
to
lifted
3.
by one of these two right now. The favourite is the man breaking off.
Yeah, Shannon, extremely classy. Can he repeat? Yeah, look at this break. Not going to have a good look on the 2 this time, Jeremy.
Well, that's the thing, right? That's why you got to stay settled in your chair. It's a scary thing, Fedor Gorst breaking the balls and with a couple game lead, and Shane knows what he's capable of as well as anyone. You know, there's always 2 to 3 parts of these races to 13 in the finals. We saw a little bit of this in Saudi, and Kachi hung tough and caught a late lead.
It's an excellent point. Even when they played about a week ago, it was like there was 2 to 3 parts every single day. So you know this is long from over, probably still several momentum swings.
And I really feel that, you know, some of these push-out situations could be the difference. I'd label Fedor Gorst the most efficient player on earth with an open layout, right? So I got him a little better than Shane in that regard. They lay tough, I like Shane, but I like Shane in these battles with the push-outs and the tactical side of things. just been in so many situations in these finals and seen so much. Gotta believe the experience leaning on his side.
Yeah, and if he's giving this back, doesn't that tell us that Fedor can't see the left side of the two or the left half? There you have it.
Yeah, great look. And, you know, there's a couple different ways to play this depending on how you're feeling. You know, you could cut the two and let it go 2 rails kind of underneath the 5 a little. Albin Ocean's real good at those types of shots, making it goofy as you bring the cue ball up table. I think most likely, though, it's going to be a soft one to the side rail.
Let's see if SVB's decision proves correct.
He's going for the make. He's going for the make.
Wow, what a hit by Gorst.
Yeah, I was talking to someone about type of shot, recognizing sometimes there's 2 ways there because you're cutting the ball right, so it's gonna kind of be a soft ball going to the hole. Hard to hang it, really.
Very different to SVB's magnificent 2-ball at a critical moment against Filler, but boy, could it pay dividends.
Yeah, that's a bit much. Definitely has a shot to the corner, but not easy. A little shocked he didn't stun over and take more of a cut for the lower left and maybe draw the cue ball. But if he gets perfect here, it certainly makes sense.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I'm a little surprised he didn't stun over. He's gonna play safe here. Can he make the 5?
Well, I kind of didn't understand it just because the 5 did go, right? That's why he played shape. And I think it was me and you, Phil, talking about at times a little conservative.
He turned down several open pots in the semi-final against Niels Fine.
Extension call.
Yeah, especially after knocking in that big 2-ball right there to start this game.
Yeah, I think he might have gone a little brain dead on the position there to the purple. It kind of messed with him, especially with the buzzer coming down. There you see it, the long power.
Well, I mean, I know Shane really well. Of course, Scott, you know him even better, but I could see Shane saying to himself, and this is no lie, he didn't shoot at that? Kind of like, you know, what's he here to do?
Yeah, to Jeremy's point, what does that tell Shane, right? That might really get him up. I was kind of surprised about everything that took place there.
It's exactly what I was saying this afternoon. It's sometimes you get in love with preserving a lead and forget what you've got to do. Power on. Shane van Boening gifted rack 9, and he's back only 1 behind. What a bonus for SVB. The audience have just had a short dance competition in this Harrah's Resort Arena. But I tell you what, Fedor Gorst won't feel like dancing. Oh no, he should be 6-3 up, or at least he had a very good chance to be. I think he made a bad decision. Shane van Boening is not complaining because he's breaking off in rack 10 with the opportunity to draw level.
Thank you very much. Rack 10. Shane van Boening to break. Trading 5 racks to 4.
Big adjustment there. What's the 3 going to do? He's not thrilled with it. I think it helped him that he caught the point. Irregardless, Phil, it's a good sign for Shane.
Yeah, look at the balls going down. The 1, the 2, the 8.
Yeah, and he anytime he makes flush contact with the 9 like that, the action on the balls just seemed to be right. This is extremely thin. I don't even know if he's going to be able to play it. He might be going behind the 6. Yeah. Did it get down enough or up enough?
I think his reaction says it all. Wasn't happy.
Extension call.
Yeah, the crowd clapping. I don't think Shane has him snookered. And you can tell here, it's not even close. This ball's makeable. 7 could be a problem here, coming down.
When we see the stats for this match, Jeremy, already lots of mistakes in all departments are cropping up.
Yeah, it's been a variety for sure, and a variety of ones we don't see very often. You know, it's missed ball. We're all going to do that, but a missed ball in hand. I think a few choices that were a little on the fence. Yeah, timing was way off there. Really snatched the backswing a bit.
Yeah, did he catch it on the way in and out there, Jeremy?
It sounded like it, Scott. I'd have to see it, but it definitely sounded like a double click kind of hit on the 3.
And he was always, I think, concerned he was coming towards the 7 as well. It was not a comfortable shot by any means in his defense.
Yeah. Well, what would you pay to be a fly on the wall in both these guys' brain at the moment?
Well, I think it's pressure induced, but you have to say neither of them thinking as clearly with such clarity as they normally do.
Yeah, and really, you know, Shane hasn't gotten total control of the stroke yet. I mean, he's missed a few little safeties. The jump really has a little something to do with that also, and here he's gotten himself funny from nowhere.
He's going to have to amp this up, and it's really easy to bend it. Oh, he's coming short side. Smart play. That's probably all he could do, actually.
Yeah, really natural here. Just don't get into the cue ball too much. He's asked for the cue ball to get cleaned, which I'll let somebody else talk about.
Well, Jeremy, always pretty accurate with the stroke, but there was probably some chalk on the cue ball. And when you're going crossways towards the 6 like this, it's easy for the cue ball to grab and maybe throw it into the left long rail. Shane just wants to smooth this in.
Stay heavy on it. Easy to overcut. Cue ball okay? He went across. I thought he would just kind of roll it in a little lighter, stay on the left. Now he's got to show us one, even if it's a safety.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. I thought he would just smooth it in like a less than medium pace.
Well, to be fair, just commented, I don't think he has total control of the stroke yet, right? Very happy the way he struck the 6, and this safety looks pretty good also. The kick behind it requires some swerve.
Can you see the right side of it, though?
Oh, I certainly think he can, but he's going to have to edge it nicely.
Fedor Gorst very, very good at this shot. Probably one of the most difficult shots at the pro level.
Too heavy. Too heavy. And the thing on that shot is you really have to make a decision. Am I going to thin it and try and hold it and not go all the way up table? Or am I going to go ahead and go all the way to the end rail and get the 7 out in space? But like you said, Scott, one of the most difficult shots there is.
Double digits in terms of racks completed. And I'll make a statement here. I've seen these two play an awful lot of pool this week. And so far, I would say both have put in their worst performance.
Yeah.
But of course, that's down to what's at stake. And the pressure they're feeling. It's all about the pressure.
Yeah, Phil, I think that's what the WNT does to you, right? The level of play has gone up so much. There's so many great players, and they know the magnitude of the position they're in now. And it's finally rearing its ugly head.
Well, you know, everything kind of adds up for this. All the pregame hype, and deservedly so. You know, so many years of both these guys trying to do it. Shane's done it as well as anyone, but you know, that's another thing, the physical side of things. The slick table, once you start to get a little off mentally and then the stroke kind of leaves you here and there, it can really kind of punish you a bit. I mean, we've seen it in the Moscone so many times, and this isn't the Moscone, but this means just as much.
When they played that mammoth challenge match at Rail Yard Billiards in Louisville, Kentucky, it was 120 to 116. That was a slugfest. In the home of the Louisville Slugger, this will be a slugfest as well. But who will hit the home run?
Shane Van Boening to break.
Yeah,
Scores are tied, 5
made
racks each.
great contact. Got flush with the 9 last rack. Can you repeat it?
Cue ball zigzagging. Needs a little more. Does have a look, though. It may not be offensive, but gotta like at least not having to push out, right?
Yeah, you mentioned the dry table. Do you think there's a chance this table could be a little wetter than normal with all the people in here and a little bit more play that it's had?
Yeah, it's not the Moscone for sure, but it's definitely slicker. So you can't, you know, when you're out of line, you can't just check the cue ball to get back in so easily, you know. Just tend to fall on the rail a little bit more. Probably a slight swerve there, throwing that ball in, not only trying to make it, but hold position on the pink. Got a gamble here, though, going either forward or drawing.
Yeah, and I think if he comes off the 8, there's a chance he could come back towards the 7 off the left long rail. He might draw way above it. Hard to control the pace here, Jeremy.
Yeah, the tendency, Shane especially, tends to overhit this draw off the other ball. It's easy to do. Oh, that was a sweet one there. So the mind's starting to get a little more intact.
Yeah, that was pure as the driven snow. He's going to take the long ball on the 6, Jeremy.
Yeah, he's going to hold that angle. You know, that shot that you should practice about 100 or two variations a day if you're a pro player. Just that one rail out to the center.
A little heavy there, right? A little much of the 6.
Yeah, it probably draws in between the 8 and 9 for the 8 in the left middle. Could, if he can avoid the 9, he could come all the way out. Short bridge has got to be a soft one, though.
About to go in front for the first time since 1-0.
And getting on with it also. I like the looks of that.
He was 5-3 down, but 3 racks in succession have taken Shane Van Boening into a 6-5 lead. Now, I believe Abigail is having a chat with the gentleman who promotes our host city.
I am indeed. Dan from Atlantic City Sport Commission. Can you just first start by telling us how important this event is to the people of Atlantic City?
Abby, it means everything. I look around right now. The crowd is absolutely electric, and to have 2 Americans facing off head-to-head at the 4th annual U.S. Domble Open in Atlantic City, you couldn't ask for anything better.
And how proud are you of how this event has gone this year? Because it has been a phenomenal turnout every day.
It really has, and the partnership with Matchroom and the Atlantic City Sports Commission is invaluable to us, and the hard work and effort that goes in for everyone here, whether it's the athletes, the spectators, or everything that's going on behind the behind seats, is so important to us.
And of course, we broke the news earlier that this event will be returning to Atlantic City, to the Harrah's Resort in 2025. And you were instrumental, right, in making that happen?
Yeah, absolutely. August 18th to the 23rd. Next year, 2025, will be the 5th year here in Atlantic City. And again, going back to having these athletes and these spectators here, enjoying what Atlantic City has to offer, whether it's the boardwalk, the eateries, the beach. Now we're here in August, so there's not a better time to be in Atlantic City.
And it really does feel like this tournament has found its home here, doesn't it?
We certainly hope so.
Absolutely. Right, let's get back to the final.
Over the years, prize fighters here, the likes of Marvin Hagler, Thomas Hearns, Larry Holmes, George Foreman, Mike Tyson, Roberto Duran, they've all gone into the squared circle in AC. This is a prize fight in pool terms.
Yeah, Phil, there he flicked the 9.
Please stop
That's how the
shouting
cue
out.
ball ended downstairs like it did, Jeremy. I think he can shoot the 2. Does the 3 pass the 8 in the lower left? It looks really tight.
Yeah, I don't think he can depend on that unless he wants to simplify the 2 and then maybe elect to play a safety. I hope he goes for the gap, whether it's a lot of outside spin coming 2 cushions or maybe inside spin coming 1 rail down between the 3-8. I kind of like the inside myself. The 3 maybe passes Scott, but it's hard to really figure for position on the 4 up the table unless you're just absolutely perfect.
Just think it's tougher to make the ball with that tip inside.
I don't think there's much miss going to happen from this guy from here on out. I really don't.
Yeah, but that was more natural, right? Does the 3 really pass, though, with ease?
If you remember, he shot a 1 ball in that semifinal. It didn't really have a complete clear path and a lot of pressure on it, playing Josh Filler to end that match. I think here he's got to stun this or use the 8 some kind of way as a safety.
I don't know that he can shoot this. Can he shoot it? Does it go?
Extension call.
Well, if you do want to shoot it, you actually need more speed. So he'll need to maybe play the pink in the middle. That way the 3 slides a bit.
Well, if he's shooting it,
He's
feels
shooting
like
it.
he can make it. I felt like it was extremely tight. He had a pretty good defensive play. He could have welded him up to the back of the 8 by going forward there.
Yeah, I think that reference of the shot I mentioned that he made really played a little part there. Probably a draw stroke. He can go forward, no problem. Yeah, and he's not, his timing getting into the cue ball. And what happens is
Extension
you end
call.
up a little quick coming back, so you quit at the cue ball, and that's what's happening on a few strokes.
Not the first time he's played a per 3 to 4.
Yeah, this is actually his bread and butter as well, though. He's going to cut it to the upper left, I believe, and hold. That low outside ball is one of his big strengths. That's why he's avoiding the top right here.
Yeah, after you make that kind of stroke, though, without getting like an easy one to repair it a bit, you tend to get even quicker at times and could push this into the top cushion.
I feel like he's going to recover.
Didn't back down. And that was really hardly any spin. Decided to go 2 cushions so he could avoid the right part of the cue ball.
Yeah, what kind of message does that send to the 5-time champion?
Well, we have another ad break after this game, and we should be right where all of us want to see it at 6 apiece.
Yeah, even though a scrappy match, it's been extremely intense. I think for all of us, it's great.
Three breaking run outs so far. mistakes too numerous to chronicle. Two balls away from parity mid-match. It was tough to pick a winner beforehand. Very tough. Nothing has changed. 6-6.
Come and get it. Come and get it. Come and get it. Come and get it.
Scott Frost has left the commentary box to be replaced by Carl Boyes. Carl, pick the bounds out of this so far. It's been a strange old contest.
Yeah, very tough action this. I've been sat in the crowd watching it. It's really built up nicely. It's just no one can get a lead, can they? A real proper lead and get some momentum in the match. It's just all building up nicely.
It was 1-1, it was 3-3, and now it's all square at 6-6. So effectively from here, we start again. It's a race to 7. If you're just joining us, history on the line either way. Shane Van Boening looking for that unprecedented
Rack 13.
6th US Open title.
Fedor Gorst to break. Scores are tied at 6 racks each.
Fedor Gorst hoping to complete a tremendous treble. Masters, World Championship, US Open.
I think the 2 is, well, it's covered up. And tell you what, anytime he's been teased with an early 9 ball, it's been hard for him to pass on it. Because realistically, you're not a favorite with this combination, and I don't see much of a backdoor safety, excuse me. I suspect if he does shoot it, just kind of simplify it and do your best to make it. It almost seemed like the safety was pretty easy and pretty routine, but maybe not. All right, he's having to cut the 2 a bit, so that gives him the touch on the cue ball. Not quite as good. On 1 rail on the 8, I think. He's going to leave the jump that he didn't want to leave.
Yeah, SVB will like the look of this. Sat in his chair coming to the table. Probably thought it was going to be welded to the 8 ball. Now you can see that angle. He's just got to pop it over the green 6.
Yeah, you notice Fedor trying to check the cue ball as much as he could with side spin.
Extension call.
Had a foul on a jump earlier that was, I think, a questionable decision. No question here, he's got to go. It's been the Brown 7 once for Fedor. That was an unlucky scratch. This one tops that one, especially with the shot on the blue 2.
The injustice.
And it was a double kiss on the Brown 7. That did that scratch. So even off after 12 games, we're still seeing even more.
We've seen so many potential turning points in this match that
Please
not
restart
turned
the
out
shot
to be
clock.
turning
Thank you.
points at all. Well, that really unfortunate scratch incurred by Shane Van Boening proved trouble for him.
Yeah, it's bread and butter. 2 rails coming at the 7. This will lead us to what? Our 4th lead change? Just barely halfway through the match.
Yeah, Van Boening led 1-0. Gorst went to 3-1. Van Boening got the lead back at 6-5, and now Gorst is 3 balls away from regaining the advantage. That was rack 13, and you don't have to be a detective to work out who was unlucky there. SVB. Gorst back in front. When you're in such an important match, Carl, and you have a rub like that, yes, all the sports psychologists tell you, shake it off, ignore it, but it's so difficult to do.
Yeah, it is difficult, but this is why these two men who are in our final are two of the best, because they just get on with the next rack, don't they? That's all you can do. You know, you never know what the table is going to give you. Of course, SVB was very unlucky there, but it is what it is. He's still well in this match.
Quite a few errors from both players. And I think one thing that's carried forward from the semi-finals is the amount of safety errors committed by Gorst.
Yeah, you know, some of those errors came after questionable decisions with the safety and not attacking, but, you know, that's unusual. But I did think that that was the side that Shane had a little bit of an edge, just tactically overall, even though Gorst very, very good.
Yeah, Fedor Gorst.
Rack 14.
It's played a lot
Fedor
more
Gorst to
balls
break.
than
Leading
SVB.
7 racks to 6.
Yeah, this is scary, though, position, just because of the break shot. Watch for the blue 2 to track 3 rails towards the side if it doesn't get a kiss. It's near that side, but the cue ball with a full eclipse. No jump shot on offer, and fairly limited with the push.
Yeah, 3 balls made, and on the stats,
Push out call.
his average balls on the break was 1.3. That was actually higher than Shane's, 1.1.
Can get to the top part of the table. Now, Shane made a funny decision early in this match. Scott and I had talked about a couple pretty easy kind of safeties from an odd position and had a big scratch. He's rolled out tough here, nothing easy
Shane,
on
it's your
this.
choice.
Now, does he push through on the blue 2, trying to put it on the side rail and carry the cue ball into the purple? Just kind of got to control both the object ball and the cue ball. That's what he's looking at now, I think. Again, just go straight through the 2, let it bank off the side cushion, the bottom, and come up on the left side rail. And go at the purple with the cue ball. Gotta believe that's what Fedor is thinking if he gets it back.
extension call.
Yeah, that's really the tendency, isn't it, Carl? Because you're so worried about overhitting that blue two, even into a bank shot, maybe some type of jump.
Yeah, it's a funny safety shot, isn't it?
Extension call.
Not happy with it.
Yeah, nothing easy though here. I mean, talk about edging the ball when nerves are super high. Easily leave this over the side for a doable jump. I don't mind him going here at the cross side bank. I really don't, if there's enough angle to naturally get on the purple. I think he's attacking.
Just see, couldn't you? Mannerisms, he's going for this. He's got it. What a shot.
This cue ball freeze along with the purple 5 makes it very difficult to draw the ball or get a lot on it.
Tiny gap between white and cushion.
Yeah, put the extra on it just so he gets a bit more off the side cushion. We were wondering, right, or at least I was wondering, you know, on the fence with that bank shot there, he's played a lot of safeties in that kind of position. I like the attacking, though. Oh, we saw this from Shane in the semifinal. Pretty upset with himself here. He's got to regroup.
Grossly overscrewed that. We saw that shot an awful lot at the recent European Open, not so much here.
And I think he's got to check the cue ball. Make sure he doesn't flirt with the side pocket where he's standing. That's surprising. The bank to me was surprising.
I agree with you, Jeremy. I think you've got to go for the pot, surely.
Especially because I think if he thought about the bank, if that was the entire intent while he was at the table, I think you just go ahead and fire it, right? You go ahead and pop it in a bit. Very still on that delicate one. No one wants to escape in this match.
Yeah, that's okay. Extra roll. Nice on this 9-ball.
Shane Van Boening again on level terms. Both of these two being victimized by the occasion. So much at stake, and that is seeping into the quality of their play.
How did that ball go in? Just the slide, the felt, shine of the ball, found its way into the pocket. 7-7.
And I think if you shoot that a number of times in the same manner, you're not going to have it fall all the time. It's just sometimes it just gets a little more rotation on the object ball, kind of pulls the ball in the hole. But you still got to believe, right? These last 6 games, whoever gets them first, they're going to start to have a little more quality.
Of course, Shane Van Boening, no stranger to US Open triumphs.
He has captured the biggest crown of his young career.
The 2012 champion of the U.S. Open,
He is the man of the moment here in Chesapeake. History has been made.
And that is it. Shane Van Boening, not to be denied.
Hail Shane Van Boening.
Shane Van Boening to break. Scores are tied, 7 racks each.
Van Boening, can he start to assert his authority? Oh, the 5 ball does him a massive favour, but the 2 doesn't.
Yeah, I tell you, they've shown us a lot, but the pool gods themselves have made this pretty interesting. It seems like almost every rack. Another crazy push-out situation. Can't offer the bottom of the cue ball with a direct look. The pink 4 kind of nestled on the side rail oddly as well.
Just going back to that little montage we saw there. The first line from Jim White. When he won his first US Open, Van Boening, he was 24 years of age. It's as though these two are tied by history because, of course, Gorst now is 24.
Yeah, and really want to learn something here from Shane. I guess he's just got to give up an edge of the 1. I mean, I really don't see much. Love to be able to tie a ball up here while giving up the edge.
Extension cool.
You know, he could pocket the 1 on a push out. That is legal. Maybe reposition the 2 in a bad spot, or maybe the cue ball in a bad spot with the blue 2. Sometimes overlooked. Well, he sees something he doesn't mind, because good chance he gets this back. Oh, he's got to keep off the rail quite a bit.
Fedor, what's your choice?
What do you see, Carl? You think he's going to dig on this, maybe? Whoever shoots it coming back behind the 7, maybe, or the red?
Yeah, it's an option. I wonder how much of this 1 ball sticking out. Well, he's not looked like giving it back once, so he's happy with something.
The 6 or the 2?
He's just going to roll it slow, Jeremy. Yeah.
This is delicate. Laying off the point. Have to say he's gained the advantage. I don't know if there's enough rail there really to do what he's looking at, trying to maybe pocket this ball without a tremendous amount of spin, being kind of a low right tip position. 9 ball? 9 ball? Ooh, cue ball.
Ball in hand.
I think looking back, Jeremy, the push out.
And please start the clock.
I know he was in a funny spot, but a little
too easy, right?
Yeah, a little bit too easy.
Yeah, I think he did feel like he had a chance to make the 1 or possibly the 9, but you know, after the break settled, we always knew he was going to be at the disadvantage. But I agree with you, Carl. Maybe a little light on the push-out.
What makes this final intriguing is there's no discernible pattern. Momentum is just flitting between one player, then it goes to the next and back again.
Okay, 2 soft cushions here off the side and then the end rail. Wants to fall very straight on the pink 4. 6 available, and more so the 7. Very playable. That's like ball in hand position there.
Extension cool.
He certainly afforded himself plenty of time to play it, Carl, because he called his extension right at the start of the process.
Yeah, some players just call it on certain shots just so the beat doesn't happen when you're down cueing the ball.
He has options here. He can follow 2 cushions back where he's at now. Give him a nice natural off the brown. Come back for the black.
The routine has a question mark over it in this match. But this is easier than routine. It's a certainty. In the battle of the push-out, Gorst most certainly had the better of it, and he regains the lead at 8-7.
Just turn it on. Just turn it on. Start out the lights. And watch me set it off. Just turn it
What a final here. Fedor Gorst out of the arena at the moment holds a slender 1-rack lead at 8-7 in this race to 13 to be crowned the US Open champion of 2024. It's been a final. I think in fairness to these two, you would say maybe low on quality, but certainly high on drama. And plenty of twists and turns, no doubt, still to come.
Yeah, you wonder what the next break shot is going to offer. But one thing I'm seeing, I don't know about you guys, but it seems like Federer's getting more dialed in on the break. It's almost like unlucky not to come away with a shot.
Thank you, rack 16. Fedor Gorst to break, leading 8 racks to 7.
Just seems a given when Fedor Gorst breaks. It just seems like the one ball always goes in the side pocket.
And I know he's awesome with the jump cue, but I don't know if it's on offer here with 2 balls to go over. He's really close to the black 8, and he's got to carry the 7 as well. Really like the kick shot, you know, coming off the right side rail underneath the 7. That would offer position on the red 3 also.
Well, he's got the short cue, so he feels like he can get over this ball. This is really close.
Yeah, and he's not going to have as much control because of the second ball he has to carry also. So he needs some not only up quickly, but to go out as well.
Oh, that gap as well. How about this for a shot? You could have put it better with your hand.
That literally put a spring in his step. What a jump. The elevation, incredible.
Yeah, if he wasn't snookered, he couldn't have played it any better, really. And, you know, the last thing I saw him do before this final, before he got on the main table, on the practice table on the outer ones, was jump the ball 15 or 20 times, working on all kinds of different ones. It's a real scary situation after he buried that one, because again, I really think the break is getting better for Fedor Gorst.
Well, the word should doesn't have much currency in this final, but really from here, he should make it 9-7.
And the situation could have been there already in this match a few times, probably for both players, a 2-game lead, but going back to maybe looking at that push out that SVB played, it's a pretty simple return, and that's not what you want when pushing out. It's just a hair of inside spin.
We are just starting to get to the real meaty part of this match now. Nearly at double figures.
Yeah, when you're in this position, you just don't go down any lower. Don't take any chance of fouling that 9.
Daylight again. It was 5-3 to Gorst as the result of a break and run out in the 8th rack. And now it's 9-7, exactly the same, although this time he was the architect of that run out because of that wonderful jump shot. Not just over one ball, but over 2. The elevation he achieved was simply spectacular.
Yeah, he took a gamble. Obviously, where do you push to? It's over the pocket. This was the shot. He just had to edge it, didn't he? He might not be playing for that very gap, fair enough, but it was all about getting the edge, making sure you pop that ball, hoping it's your day.
Yeah, well, just time and time again, you know, he elevates the cue with that jump shot. Of course, having to do so many different things, but you could see he never hardly mishits it. You know, mishit that ball at all. All kinds of terrible things can happen.
Hasn't been 3 ahead in this final. He wants to put that to rights here. Shane van Boening, he's played in 5 US Open finals, been victorious in all of them. But it's quite clear now he's got his hands full.
Obviously, Fedor needs a few more racks, Jeremy, but try and put it into context if he did go on to win this US Open. To win the Masters, the World Champs, and the US Open, how do you sum that up in, or compare it rather, in a sporting world?
You know, maybe a dominance of a football team that, you know, wins 3 out of, like the Cowboys, even though I'm not a Cowboys fan, but, you know, in the early 90s, they were pretty dominant. Individual sports, I guess Roger Federer maybe at times.
Leading 9 racks to 7.
You know, it's just a hard one. You know, Tiger, he did carry the slam, right? But it wasn't in the same year. It carried over from one year to the next. Probably a little unlucky, really, knowing Tiger and how he plays. But the other thing, too, you know, is if he does go on to do it, oh, a dry break, now's your chance. And we got to look at it, 16 games, and it can only be closer at 8-8. So 9-7 is about as close as we can expect for these two. But what I was going to say is, if he does go on to win this, what a trio he's beaten to win it as well. Josh Filler in the Masters, Ekling Kachi at the Worlds. Now, in my mind, can't say for sure yet, but I think he will go down as the greatest player ever, at least for a little while, SVB.
Yeah, that break off from Gorst, we were just saying it seems like it's wired. He constantly pots it, but that just proves how difficult it is because you've got to really get it in the center pocket.
Yeah, I think he got himself funny here. This isn't the type of shot you want to play to easily get the right angle on the 3 and not make a missable ball in the side. Rather be playing the 3 in one of these corners. This is what I mean. He's going to get a little thin or have to take a tester either to the corner or the side. Good thing about the side, right? No scratch. The 8's in the way.
Just feels like a big moment, this, doesn't it? Just get the feeling. He's not quite on the 3 how he wanted. No sort of natural shot.
Cool.
It's not an easy putt. It's going into the side pocket.
And the 8 held the cue ball nicely. That gave him options on how he could shoot it. He had to dig on the cue ball there. Whew. Real tester. Just hold the rock here for the 6 in the opposite middle, I think.
Just when we were talking about the metronomic qualities of Fedor Gorst's break and how many times he comes up with the goods. In rack 17, it's dry, giving Shane Van Boening encouragement.
2 rails for the side. Pay attention to it. Catch rail first or something on the 8. It's clean.
I know it was a dry break from Gorst. He's still got to get balls in the pocket, which he does.
Paul was right, that was an important moment. SVB did not want to fall 3 down so late in the match. As it is, he's only 1 behind at 9-8. And I think in terms of its competitive nature, Carl, it's living up to expectations, this match.
Yeah, of course. Listen, you know, maybe Jeremy's a bit different. Or Scott Frost, you want Van Boening to win the 6, but if you're in neutral, you sat on the fence, you just want another close final. That's what we're having. That's what we're seeing.
And it really is remarkable how many close finals we've had to major World 9-Ball Tour ranking events. And indeed other Matchroom multi-sport tournaments. World Masters deciding rack. World 9-Ball Championship deciding rack. Hanoi Open last year. European Open last year. All went the distance. Spanish Open.
Yeah, that usually tells us the 2 players that are in it or the deserving ones fighting for whatever title it is. Many players' mind, of course, the Worlds is there, but this U.S. Open was the first one they really kind of wanted. This guy did it a long time ago, trying to do it one more time.
Rack 18. Shane Van Boening to break. Putting 9 racks to 8.
He's adding that right spin, and I can only imagine that's intended. If this cross-side bank goes, I think you're going to see him try to clear the table.
Yeah, he's not had much love for the break off the lowest ball, has he?
pretty tight, but I think there's a space. He's going behind the 7, trying to put the 1 just above the 3. Too much. Adrenaline's been going.
Yeah, he'll come round and just have a look if that goes past the pink 4. The difference, though, of the cue ball being behind that brown 7 as opposed to where it is now is night and day.
Extension, cool.
Carl, we talked about the Mosconi many times. You know, like he felt good about it, so he was trying to nestle maybe on the 7 instead of just laying him on the rail behind the 7, kind of simplifying the safety, maybe allowing Gorst to go to the air, but I think you still got to take your chances there if you're SVV. These odd ones have gotten Gorst a few times, the tactical ones. That was a friendly bump he got, because that 1 was going to be near the pocket, snookered or not. He would have probably been able to get at it.
That's the shot he's faced with. Doesn't look like there's an edge. If there is, it's very, very thin anyway.
Extension called.
Yeah, you just maybe size up trying to kick it in the lower left corner, just past the side. Oh, he's curving this. Wow. I mean, he's trying to make this or dive the cue ball down for safe. Easy. Let's hit this shot. I think he's pretty happy, Carl.
Well, I'd be delighted because, you know, when you're playing them swerve shots, how many of them do you play in a match? It's not like you're going to go and practice them, is it? So that was the intention. A half-hearted chance of making the ball, but he knew if he misses the double kiss, this is what he may leave.
Now watch out for accidentally pocketing a ball with the cue ball coming behind the 7. Hit it with pretty light speed. This is going to get away, though, a bit. Not as much as I initially thought. You can see this.
We are at 9-8, and I think it's fair to say, other than the break, everything else has been pinpoint level, hasn't it? Even the safeties are just creeping out.
Rearing up here. He wants the speed to be right. Maybe a hair heavy. Gorst will cut at this with the blue 2 on the opposite end.
Several safeties in this rack alone have been not quite as accurate as they are normally when Gorst or Van Boening are at the table.
Yeah, can he? You see he's on the left side of the ball, so trying to go between the 3-7, maybe at the 2 ball.
Where's
Off
this
with the
cue
timing.
ball going?
Sorry, Carl. It's been pretty consistent in my eyes. Just a little quick sometimes with the stroke for Gorst.
I tell you one thing I've noticed with Fedor over the times we've been in comms. Yeah, he either pots the ball into middle or he misses it by a long way. There's no in between. How about this for a stroke?
Yeah, he needs a friendly bump. Yeah, I was a little worried about that one. But he does have, you know, no hampering with the cueing, so I like him from here.
The crowd, they want to see number 6, don't they? They want to see history. They want to say, I was there. I was there when SVB did it.
Using the side rail a bit. Nice friendly bump there just to hold somewhat. This is odd as well.
Yeah, you're going to say you say friendly, but Don't look very friendly.
Well, maybe he would have went into the 3, which would have been better. Coming between the 6-9.
He just cannot get on the ball. He's played 3 very nice pots. The cue ball just don't want to go where he wants it.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll see it again, but I think that was just the 3 ball getting caught maybe to the thick part of the pocket. That's why he contacted the green 6. You looking for a kick and stick here?
SVB with a kick and stick. That was delightful. It really was.
And this kick and stick could do the trick, although never, ever right off Gorst.
Yeah, most players recognize that shot, but don't want to really shoot it in the moment. That type of shot, when it's so close and you have to carry the cue ball, if you miss hit it any, you may not even hit the pink because the cue ball will curve.
You can try and defend against him, but he's got an air force.
Oh, this speed may fall underneath this. This is going to get tricky. A little bit anyways. Go into the 7? I mean, into the 9? I thought it would pass the 9 and go a little more towards the 8. Let's be thinner than we even think here in the booth.
Pressure shot pulled off by Gorst. We've talked all week about his superior jumping skills. It led directly to him winning rack 16. And the same thing applies in rack 18. The first animated fist pump of the match. Shane Van Boening was a little unfortunate there, but the jumping magic from Fedor Gorst, that was the difference. 10-8. Shane Van Boening played that clever kick and stick, but it wasn't clever enough because the jumping skills of Fedor Gorst are off the charts. Up and over the 6, and what's more, in goes the 4.
I can't tell you how difficult that shot was. Forget putting the ball. It's jumping over the ball. It was so close. You can see what that meant to Fedor. He knows he's close. He knows he's close to doing something us pool players probably thought could never happen. Winning the big 3, winning the triple.
Yeah, all in the space of 4 months. April World Masters, June World Championship, and now here in late August.
Yeah, he won the Masters with a 1-rack shootout. He won the World Championships with a 1-rack shootout.
Rack 19. Fedor Gorst to break, leaving 10 racks to 8.
A rare dry break in his last attempt, so you wouldn't expect that again. Uh-oh. New ball's is going to escape the scratch and dress up for a shot. Three's a little covered up, but I think he's got a natural angle to get up by that side pocket and just get a look at the red three. They're a bit tricky, Phil, but they're there to take a 3-game lead. I think that would be our first of the match.
You think correctly.
Just trying to come over to the left, leave that gap in between the 9 and the 8 ball. Looks to be pretty tasty. Looks to be pretty good.
Yeah, and the one thing you notice and you can learn from Fedor, and of course the same from Shane, is he really didn't kind of back off there, right? He made sure he got that nice bounce so he could cue the ball nicely. Dig on the ball, spin it if he wants.
Extension cool.
Now, do you pull this, coming 2 rails across the angle a little bit for the pink, or do you come between the 9 and 6 with a little inside? I think that's tough. Got to pull this 2 rails below the 7, I think.
Amazing some of the balls that have rattled and fell in here, Jeremy. Just a couple of weeks ago at the European Open, some of these balls have stayed over the pocket.
Yeah, and, you know, we have the black top ones on the outer, right? And these are it's the diamond wood, but I wonder if maybe it's just a hair different. I know the conditions really make a difference with the heating. What interests me is if he hits that to the center of the pocket, the cue ball's overran by some piece.
Yeah, catching it as thick as he did actually did him an immense favour. Ideal on 4 to drop ideally on 5 and so on and so forth.
It's going to stop nicely. Too much angle to make it nervy, pocketing the 6, but too little to move the cue ball easily across.
Gorst in the process of establishing a substantial lead. 3 racks easily overcome early, but maybe not so late.
Yeah, no foregone conclusion that Shane gets back to the breaking in this match. That's just how 9-ball pool can be, especially with the best. But I'm still interested to see if he just does get back to that end, if he just starts to really unload on the rack.
This is going to be the 4th break and run out that SVB has been on the receiving end of. Gorst 3 in front for the first time and needing 2 more to win the US Open. Let's hand over to Abby, who's with the UK Open champion.
Yeah, Robbie Capito. Of course, you were eliminated from this event by the eventual semi-finalist in Niels Feijen. You're sticking around to watch the final, though. What have you made of it so far?
You know, 2 of the best players in the world right now playing against each other. 2 Americans. You know, it's unbelievable final. Fedor's playing amazing. Shane's still, you know, still sticking in the game for so long. You know, what a legend of the game. So it's a great match to watch.
How much do these 2 players inspire you?
You know, I've been watching Shane since I was very young, and I've been in the juniors with Fedor, so both of them, you know, make me want to work even harder. So yeah, it's a big inspiration to me.
And as the UK Open champion, how have you found your form since winning that major a few months ago?
Yeah, it's been pretty good so far. It's just you know, it's 9-ball pool. Anything could go anything could go either way. So you just have to learn from it and just keep moving on.
And just finally, the Reyes Cup on the horizon. Of course, as a major champion, are you hoping that maybe you could get that wild card spot?
Yeah, hopefully. Emily, I'm waiting for you.
There we go. The message has been sent. Let's get back to the final.
What a nice fellow, Robbie Capito. He beat Mieszko Fortunski in the UK Open final in Telford.
SVB knows.
Rack
Gorst
20. Fedor Gorst to break, leading 11 racks to 8.
has been making the one ball all week, a high percentage of the time. He's praying he doesn't land on the lowest ball.
Two's coming up with the cue ball. This is going to dress up pretty nicely. Be a little goofy getting on the 3 correctly to get onto the 4, but you know, once they get in line with that first shot, they usually run the rack.
Let's put it this way, Carl. He'll take it.
100%. Just one more rack away from getting on the hill, and he does get to 12-8. Feel like he'll get some sort of chance, don't you, at some point?
Yeah, and really looking at the rack now, I think he can just simply come one rail, kind of on the line where the 2's at. There's a path to come a couple cushions between the 6 and 8 to get on that pink. Don't take your eye off the prize with this blue 2 ball. Those sides are brutal.
Extension, cool.
Shane, what's going through his head? He left on a perfect shot and hasn't shot since with the kick and stick.
Said before, JJ. Fedor seems to pop the ball or miss it by a mile. How do you not hit a jaw from that?
Yeah, and he knew it right whenever he delivered the cue. You know, the thing is, I talked about it. Wow, that was far off. That wouldn't have gone on a 5-inch pocket, but said it before. These balls cut a little easier, so you have to be aware of that. Shane is something else, huh? Like, I'm looking at how I'm going to shoot that 2 ball. I'm shooting it like half the pace that he had right there. Okay, watch out for the lower right corner. Okay, he got into the cue ball nicely.
When Gorst broke dry in rack 17, Carl quite rightly said this is a very important visit. The same applies here, really important.
And it looks like he's going to level out. Oh, he's elevating to go into the 9. I thought he'd level out and go into the 7 to play the purple in the opposite corner. Oh, yeah, caught it a little thin. Watch out for the cueing. That was just because he overcut the pink to the pocket a bit.
Before Shane played the kick and stick, to which then Fedor jumped the ball in that very same rack. He was losing the cue ball. Couldn't get the cue ball where he wanted. He's lost it here. Watch outside pocket. Yeah, good shot. Very good safety. Don't leave a combo on.
Yeah, and he can actually take a chance at fouling here, but also just clipping the purple off 2 cushions and then have another chance because the purple won't be playable even with ball in hand. So this won't be just kind of hit at. It'll be like a medium speed, just past the side. Will not hit this heavy coming in, that's for sure. He played it lighter.
Foul stroke. All in hand. Please start the clock.
What happened there?
Yeah, he didn't recognize the shot I was talking about, trying to come too cushion and just nip the 5. And again, if you don't, you just give up ball in hand. Now Shane, is he just going to use the 6 here, Carl, or does he try to go all the way behind the 7 off 3 cushions?
You sort of think distance is your friend.
Extension, cool.
I kind of like just the 6 coming 2 cushions to the left middle, you know, the left middle diamond on the left side rail. I think this is okay. The only thing you don't want to do, you don't want to open at the 8 much and leave some type of rail first off the left side of the 6. It's going all the way to the 7. I think it's got to go. He's not going to be happy with that.
Yeah, just the pace seems to be catching him out in this final.
Yeah, now, does Gorst go for a bank he can cue very nicely? Does he go for the same type of clip on the right side of the purple?
That's the difference, you see. If Shane gets the back rail and the 7's in the way, Gorst is in a bit of trouble. SVB's got the advantage, but this could just swap straight back over. Okay, he's a little shy as well, and this ball will cut, you know.
Yeah, really shocking he didn't get a bounce off the bottom cushion there. You always want to at least get to that cushion. It's easy to shoot in between there. Do it all the time.
Lots of Gorst safeties in the semi-final and the final haven't been telling at all.
He's banking the purple back down. Use the 9, I think. Good stuff. Really good.
Yeah, he's very good at that type of shot. Is Shane. The difference with this one rack.
I was going to say, is the 7 really impeding what he wants to do with the purple? Still, he's done all right. I mean, a lot of pressure here and a long shot.
Yeah, huge pressure. This is long. Don't be fooled by your TV screens thinking this is an easy shot. It is not.
Counterpoint, this is Shane van Boening. He crunches them in like this on a regular basis.
Just not looking for something unfortunate. Wow, hardly any pocket. You have to show us this super thin one to the upper right. Everything else is super touchy also.
Yeah, whenever you, I'm going to say hit and hope, Jeremy, but whenever you take that little gamble, it's not always going to pay off, is it?
An overcut. That's the common thing there when you're behind the balls. You doubt they hit a bit.
Yeah, white and object ball close together means that even for the very best alignment, sometimes a little bit of guesswork.
Again, good thing for Gorst, the 7, very playable. Just really put the onus on the thin 6.
The hill is beckoning, Cole.
It is. Magic number 6. Shane is looking a little unlikely.
And it goes on to win, Fedor. Should certainly get to the hill here, but oh my. Oh my. So Definitely still off with the stroke a bit. That wasn't about the contact as much as the delivery. What I was going to say is, again, another match just kind of winning all kinds of ways.
Yeah, even that went in a little bit fat, didn't it? He was not playing for the corner. I'm sure he wasn't.
The tightness in Fedor Gorst's Q arm is clearly extreme.
Likes that stun off those types of shots where a lot of players would roll and off a little bit. Shows.
That was more like it. Fedor Gorst. 4 up with 5 to play. Shane Van Boening's dream of winning the US Open for the 6th time. It's not over. He's definitely in trouble. Can Gorst get over the line? You know, he came in today, Carl, and the first thing he said on his interviews, both of them actually, with Jeremy and also with Abigail, that he felt as though he'd been lucky to get through yesterday. He was lucky, and I think today the roles have gone in his favour also.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, but, you know, you create those roles at times, and they're going to go against him. In this young career, he's just now getting started. It looks like he's going to hold every title in the world.
Yeah, and of course, you know, it's not so much just about him as well. Shane's, you know, he's had opportunities, he's lost a cue ball, he's struggled with the pace on his safeties.
Last year in the final, of course, Gorst was beaten 13-6 by an inspired Ko Ping Chung. Here, he beat Ko Ping Chung in the last 64, 10-6. He beat Skylar Woodward, the US Mosconi Cup captain, 2 rounds later. Niels Feijen earlier today. He bounced back from an early defeat. He needs one more rack. He would love to break and run out. It will be his 5th of the final. Will he get an open
21.
table off the break?
Fedor Gorst to break. On the hill, leading 12 racks to 8.
Cue ball. Ooh, maybe heading towards that side. Snookered on the brown 7. Seems like it's been the brown 7 and the blue 2 involved in a lot of these push-outs. Really, if you look at this match for Shane, when you talk about Fedor getting the rolls, at times it's really Shane getting some kind of really unlucky rolls. Remember the jump on the 2 with the scratch off the 7? You know, the ball he just made there to end up very funny on the green 6 in the last game.
Yeah, that's the way it works, isn't it? Head to head, mano a mano. One man's bad luck is the other good luck.
Yeah, and he's going to do it here with a push out. That was his last break of the match, but he's going to put that into a jumping position.
Shane, it's your choice.
Now Shane, I think, has got to pass it to be fair, but
please play again.
But if Fedor makes this, I mean, it's almost like it was really meant to be the way he may clear the table.
Well, one thing is for certain, he'll get close to this jump shot. He'll hit it pretty full. He's going to go near this pocket if he doesn't go in.
And really the type you want, he gets to use a little longer part of the jump cue, more power. Just got to kind of stop the ball. Interesting, he drew the ball there. He's very much in control of that jump cue, and I thought it'd be more of a stop or maybe even stoning forward a bit. Guess he's pretty amped up is what it is.
Yeah, had the 2 gone in, he would have been hooked on the 3.
I think he knew he wasn't going to get the snooker, or most likely not. Thought he might take a chance at kicking it in the upper corner just because snooker was pretty hard to get. I think you got to bank the 2 back at the 3 really here. Try and get as much to the left as you can.
He was looking at the 2 from an early stage, but there wasn't enough juice.
I was with you, John. Just a little bank back up on the table. SVB's not had much table time. He's clearly under the gun. You've got all them balls in the centre of the table. You was a big favourite to come away with something good.
Yeah, and as close as this ball got to that double bank, it actually made things a bit more odd, even though it's not really missable. He's going to lose the cue ball drawing off the 6 if that's the case. He drew it straight. So this guy's not done.
That was a little bit special, wasn't it? That really was.
Simply superb.
Set up nice, and again, really interested to see what he does with the break. He's got to get out here first, though. Could go forward to the rail here. It's a little natural off the green 6. Hard to knock him coming for the side, but when you don't get ideal, you start to become a little awkward. A lot of pockets for the 8, though, so that's going to help.
Yeah, at first I thought he was just going to stun past the 8 off the back rail and just back out.
I'm with you, Carl. He didn't want to draw the cue ball. I think that caught a hair of the knuckle, but it wasn't enough to keep it out of the pocket.
Not over yet. Far from it. Trademark power shot on the 2 from Shane Van Boening, setting up what turned out to be a somewhat adventurous run out. It's 12-9. Is there renewed life in this US Open final, or was Shane Van Boening, in winning that 21st rack, merely delaying Fedor Gorst's victory celebrations? Well, at least Van Boening's got the break, and sometimes that leads to pool magic.
Rack 22. Shane Van Boening to break, trailing 12 racks to 9.
First glance, looks like he's going to have a shot. He is going to have a shot. It's not bad, this.
Well, it seems like he cut the one a bit more to me. Got a lot of action on the rack. He is almost as good a starter as he's had all match. Can he ease it and go by the pink? Play the pink in the opposite side? That's what I would look at. May have to go to the bottom rail and back up. Tip position will tell us all what he's doing. Little body movement. I think the heart's pumping.
Yeah, this is a big shot now, isn't it, JJ? He's got to just make sure he doesn't leave himself a little bit weird on this green 6. It's easy to do that. He sort of has done that, so now he's got to rip this one in.
Yeah, and he stays a little more in the middle with the stroke. I don't think the cut's that bad. We saw Fedor Gorst end up short on a similar play.
Good, positive strike. It really was.
Yeah, not the type of shot you want to roll. You know, maybe in practice or whatnot, but distance he'd like to stun this a hair, maybe get somewhat straight on the 8. Dragging it in.
What a time this would be to deliver only your second break and run out of the final.
Yeah, win or lose, though, I mean, he's shown a lot of heart with these outs.
Yeah, he knows if he gets a chance and he doesn't take it, it's not going to be 6. Got to nip this ball in. He's going to be on double figures.
Hear the roar of the Shane Van Boening Legion of fans. They would love to see a full-scale comeback here. And if you write that possibility off, you're making a big mistake. It's 12-10 and Van Boening to break in rack 23.
He's done what he needed to do, hasn't he? He's just applying a bit of pressure back home to Gorst. That's all he could do. 12-8 down, needs the last 5, but you've got to not think about it as the last 5. The old cliche, one rack, one ball at a time. Just apply the pressure. That's what he's doing.
And let's not forget, when he won the World Championship a couple of years ago now, part of that challenge, part of that charge to the title was all about one extraordinary comeback, Jeremy.
Yeah, absolutely. Defeating Mika Eminen after trailing 10-3 in a race to 11. Of course, it seems like a lot less here, but it seems like more just because of the setting we're in, and of course the finals of the U.S. Open. Marcel working on the rack. Excuse me, Ben. That wasn't Marcel.
Rack 23, Shane Van Boening to break, trailing 12 racks to 10.
One's high. Watch out, cue ball with that spin. Oh my. Yeah, with ball in hand, look at this layout. He really couldn't get any more simple to try and get this title.
And please stop.
I'll tell you what, I had a premonition there. I just thought he's going to scratch here. I just knew it. The air has gone out of the balloon in this room.
And again, probably not on the positive side of the roles in this match, but still have to give it to Fedor Gorst. And what a layout here, huh, Carl, to try and get this title.
Yeah, no, whenever you get to a final, you find yourself on the hill. All you can ask for. One go, one attempt, and Jeremy rightly says, when you look at the table layout, 2 connects to 3 easy, 3 to the pink, 4's a doddle, and the 5's on the left, so's the 7, and it's going to be the 8 in the corner, and just stunned 9 in the middle. I mean, these are 1,000 out of 1,000 in practice.
The only thing that stops him, the situation.
He's just really perfect, not too much angle, but just enough to move the ball easily off the rail. Can't foresee any problems, really.
Yeah, we know there's a lot on the line here. Keep talking about the fact that if he was to win the US Open, he'd hold all 3 of the big ones at the same time, and he knows that. But the fact that, you know, he beat Villa Hill at the Masters, he beat Katja Hill at the World Pool Championships, he's got serious metal about him.
He's gotten a hair on the bad side of this pink. It's not much. I wonder if he just holds or goes to the rail and back out. Again, his bread and butter. Does he stay on the short side, simplifying the purple? Does he go what he likes to do, which is the heavy stun? Heavy stun makes the purple missable. I would really consider the soft draw here, maybe to the back side of the 7 in some sort.
He won't be taking anything for granted. Complacency is an enemy in this kind of situation, but that could be the key. That could be the one that puts him in heaven.
Yeah, it was center cut. And again, just thinking about how many different ways this guy's won some titles. It was 7 breaking runs in the Masters for Josh Filler. He overcame that. Overcame Eklund Kachi, arguably. He's definitely one of the top 4 guys, along with Filler. Of course, the ones that were at the table now. He's an American, playing for America and residing here, but you know the crowd was looking for number 6 for Shane.
There's still time for Van Boening, but 2024 surely will not be his time. Fedor Gorst beating Joshua Filler in the World Masters. It means a tremendous treble, an unprecedented hat-trick. And what a way to complete it. Here in his adopted home, 13-10 the scoreline. The dream of 6 US Open titles for Shane Van Boening is over for now. It will be resurrected next year, of course. But lifting the Barry Berman Trophy and winning $50,000 US will be Fedor Gorst. And after winning $250,000 at the World Championship, his advantage at the top of the World 9-ball Tour rankings is simply gargantuan. The two Moscanica teammates, good friends, full of mutual respect. But it's Gorst who's full of triumph, stepping onto the table as is now traditional, taking the applause of this Atlantic City crowd. I'll tell you what, he might have a year equal to this going forward, but he'll never better it. Incredible. Abigail is with our new champion.
Fedor Gorst, congratulations, the US Open champion for the very first time. Sum up your overriding emotions right now.
Unbelievable, unbelievable. Well, first of all, sorry guys, I know you were rooting for SVB tonight. I'm really sorry. But I mean, amazing, very tough match as expected. You know, me and Shane, we have a long history, and hopefully that wasn't our last match. So just very tough to find any awards right now. You know, very, very tired. I'm sure Shane is too. Just very happy right now.
And to beat such a legend of the game in the final, someone who has won this title 5 times previously, does it mean that little bit more to you?